Hey, welcome to another episode of our show, NXT UK. It's time to talk about everything that happened on this week's show, and we're pleasantly, surprised because it was a great show, and also like we got to see, a lot of good matches. Something that we're gonna see in the next couple of weeks. We're gonna see a Heritage Cup, a championship opportunity next week, and we got to see the NXT UK Championship defended here. Ilja Dragunov, Nathan Frazier. What a great show we had, Jean Paul. And tell me a little bit about this show that leaves us with lots to talk about.
Yeah, we said for a while, it's like, where's the NXT champion? Where is he? Last week or 2 weeks ago, Nathan Frazier called him out. So this was the big main event, and it was a fantastic match. We also saw, all the matches here were good, and NXT, they keep delivering, and we're gonna get right into it. So
exactly. So family, thank you so very much for being with us one more time. We love you. We appreciate you. Keep subscribing. Keep subscribing in all the social media waves that we have, and just following all the stuff that we do. Thank you so much for everybody that already does so, and don't forget to also help us out with the video for AEW Dynamite, because Tony Khan buys Ring of Honor, like a lot. That was the biggest piece of news that we have. Also, like AEW has an agreement with what is going to be HBO Max. So, like you said, Jean Paul actually merged both ideas together. He said, "Hey, Ring of Honor, like there's a lot of tapes right there. There's a lot of shows, 17 years of footage. Hey, maybe HBO Max is going to have those things right there in their platform. So this is going to be great. On top of that, this was the Go Home show for AEW Revolution on Sunday. The great stuff in this show, Paul."
Yeah, I think the segment that has everybody buzzing is, the hanging of CM Punk. You said it reminded you of the Passion, the way he was so bloody, and MJF with the biblical promo there at the end, or biblical words to him about the snake and the devil himself and everything. This was a great episode of Dynamite. A couple things here and there, but you want to hear our full thoughts, go listen to the review, check it out. Make sure you give it a like and share.
Exactly, so much. Thank you, family. And like you said, this episode of NXT UK opened up with Shawn Samuels going against Mark Coffey. Pretty good match. Two guys that are built around the same, and they were like kind of like I don't want to say the lackeys, but the friends of the guys that are going to be involved in the Heritage Cup Championship match. So we got to see a lot of action from them. Personally, I wanted Shad to win because Shad, at least to me, has more of a character. There's more charisma there. There's more of like something that I can actually relate to the guy. But in this case, turned out to be that like Mark Coffey, I guess, is the guy that they love the most, and he ended up winning the match, Paul. I mean, I liked him for what it was, and in the end, like the finisher, I like what is the name? The Glasgow check or something like that.
Yeah, he kind of almost just like a big flying clothesline, sliding clothesline almost he does. But this match was really good. I thought Shawn Samuels showed how good he is. I mean, he's a goof. He's always like a betting and trying to make money, and he's a stooge to Noam Dar. But you saw in this match, this guy's legit. He's a good wrestler. Commentary even said, hey, he slimmed down. He's in really good shape. They were putting him over. But Mark Coffey is a guy who, we see a lot of teams in the tag team division now, and we haven't seen Gallus in the tag division, and I don't think we've missed them there. So maybe they think, hey, let's give these guys some singles runs. They were pushed Mark Coffey before. They said he had the match with Tyler Bate for a Heritage Cup a couple months ago, and he's getting a match here. He gets the big win, and that's fine with me because I think Noam Dar is going to beat Joe Coffey. So, obviously you get Mark Coffey to win here, and then that kind of, okay, now the baby faces have the momentum going into the big match. Nope, Noam Dar is going to win. That's how I see it going, but, we got to wait and see.
Now that I mentioned Noam Dar and also, like, Coffey, like, they had, like, a word of words or, like, a promo by them saying, like, how, like, for example, Coffey has never had a Heritage Cup match. He says, well, it doesn't matter because it's going to be my first one, and I'm going to be the champion after that. So pretty secure, pretty confident. He knows what he's going to do. But Noam Dar is like, nah, you know what, dude? It's whatever. Like, you and your buddies. Like, he called him a name. He said, like, you guys that, like, you call family, your stooges or whatever. So this is going to be a great match. I hope, like you said, Noam Dar, he needs to just keep winning. It's a good opportunity for him. And next week, we're going to see this Heritage Cup Championship match. Again, if Noam Dar doesn't win, I'm going to be pissed because Kofi, he's good and everything, but Gallus, I don't know. They don't really do a lot for me. They don't really like make me excited about anything. While Noam Dar, the promo work is a lot better, is solid, and as a heel, he can do so much with this cup.
Yeah, like you said, you have a lot of baby faces that, he could go against really good matches. But, if you're just going off size and strength and everything, Joe Coffey, we got to wait and see. Is anybody going to get involved? I think that's going to play a big factor in this match, but I'm looking forward to it. This is definitely going to be the main event next week. And, the promo, it was really good too. He always says, Joe Coffey, yeah, you always get in these big matches. You always talk about, you're a big fight, yeah, big fight. He's like, but, when you get in these big fights, what happens? You always lose. You never win them. And he's like, no, I'm the one who wins them. I'm the champion and stuff. So this is good. I'm looking forward to this.
Exactly. So something that we saw last week is kind of like a stare down, maybe like they had an interaction here, like Dempsey and also the A-Kid. So they in this particular promo, we saw the A-Kid applying like a submission hold to like over there, like a guy that he was training with, and then Dempsey goes, "Hey, can you teach me that, because it will be cool too for me to learn." And he's like, "I don't think I can teach you that." And then you get to see the guys from the Familia, Tio Man, Raja, to like jumping him, and then Dempsey kind of like stops for a little bit. It's like, whoa, what's going on? Because like Dempsey kind of tries to portray himself as like not a guy that like he's all with the Familia, I think. But then he goes, you know what? Whatever. And they start like attacking him anyway. So this was good because Dempsey was just trying to play off like against the A-Kid. He was just trying to fool him. And next week we're going to see a match between the two. This is going to be great, but I hear Dempsey needs to win here.
Yeah, and I think he will. And this match it's one of those things where, when you go back to that, A-Kid was like, no, I'm not going to teach you that. He's like, because you're just going to stretch somebody and you're just going to be bullshit like you were last week. And he's like, listen. He's like, I did that, yeah, but that's not who I am. It's just with those guys. He tried to plead his case, and like you saw, and like when they jumped him, he's like, what are you doing? So, and then he's like, like you said, screw it. So it makes you think, is it a work? Is it a shoot? Like, are you working or are you shooting? Like,
exactly,
like Stone Cold likes to say, but it's one of the things where we got to see, and I'll propose this idea to you, and then we can move on. What do you think if he would split from De Familia? Do you think that's too soon, and that's kind of hurts the group?
It seems to be too soon. Yeah, of course it will hurt the group. But I mean, maybe like they feel that like the group is not really working then. You know what I mean? Like the whole idea, maybe they don't know what to do with them. Because we always said in like the booking in wrestling is sometimes it can be really good. NXT UK is mostly good. It makes more sense, but it seems to me that like maybe because Tio Man, I don't know, is not strong enough, or Raja, or like Dempsey, like maybe they feel like he's like the best guy out of the three, so maybe they want to give them the opportunity. We'll see, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. It will hurt me a little bit because I feel De Familia needs more time to be established, though. It's just the beginning. They had the promos and all of that. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I hope they don't. I think they're maybe just teasing the idea right now. I hope they don't. Or maybe they're going to try to recruit A-Kid or something. I don't know.
Oh, maybe that's also like a pretty interesting idea. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do that. But we're going to see what happens. So, like, we got to see also, like, here a good promo about Ilja Dawn. This was just really well done because she was actually singing. She was, like kind of like a Broadway show, kind of like those things, but like mentioning how she attacked Meiko Satomura. She's gonna try to get that NXT Women's Championship, and in the end, I'm gonna be in the top, something like that. She said, I'm gonna be the one standing tall. So really cool stuff. Ilja Dawn is like on fire right now. I like what they're doing with her. NXT UK does a lot of good, promo work and a lot of selling for these girls. I like that.
Yeah, and they really do a lot of stuff, like you said, for her, and even for Blair Davenport when they filmed that stuff at the castle and the courtyard, all that stuff. And this is really good. I like how they did it. And yeah, she's creepy, and they the powers, and people might be like, oh, the supernatural, don't use shit on that when it's Matt Hardy or somebody, but she doesn't do anything. She doesn't like teleport. She doesn't do it. The only thing is she's just like weird.
Yes.
And it's like they, Nigel said it best. It's the placebo effect. If she thinks this stuff gives her powers, in her mind, it does. Yes. Even if it really doesn't, in her mind, it does. So
yes, we got to see again. This is.
She was like she put like the rose or like the petals in her mouth as she's singing. Yes. So it's all like weird, and you're like, what's going on? But I'm looking forward to the match.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good, and hopefully, like it's maybe in 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks time. That's where they always like to do the matches in advance when it's something really big on NXT UK. So talking about big matches, we get to see the aftermath of what happened at the end of like the tag team championship match. Remember, we covered this, and Mustache Mountain still retain the championships, and then we gonna see Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith saying, hey, you know what? It's not the end. It's like, oh, you were a little bullshit, Trent Seven. It's like, hey, I wasn't bullshit. And what are you talking about? It's like, hey, it's all well done, and with the spirit of winning. I wasn't cheating or anything. And then Ashton is like asking for another opportunity. Let's do it one more time. And you can see Tyler Bate. So, well, we've been there before. So they actually agreed to do it again. But then I think it's Oliver Carter. Like, he's like, you know, no more being nice, no more being polite, because it's like, okay, let's demand our shit. So this is good. But again, if this happens, I don't think the title's gonna change hands anyway.
No, and I mean, I'm looking forward to another match just because of how good all, you know, the last two matches have been. I think their third match will be just as good. Maybe it'll even be the best one, but you got to think, you know, do you really want to beat this team like 3 times? Yes. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that they shouldn't get a rematch, and, you know, they can still have a lot of momentum and lose to them. You know, that doesn't, you know, not saying that they're, you know, the worst team in the division or anything, but you know, it's one of those things where, you know, what's the story? Because I think you got to do something. You can't just have both, you know, Mustache Mountain win and they just, oh, we're still legit, everything's fine, we move on.
Whatever.
And then these guys, oh, we're fine, and we just move on. There's got to be some kind of crack or some kind of storyline or some kind of, you know, tension between, you know, the teams or something.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. So hopefully we know what's going to happen. I mean, they agreed to it, but it wasn't official. So that's the thing. Maybe they got to do something to get there. I don't know. But like you said, I don't know if I want to see that again so soon. You know, I need to maybe somebody.
Yeah, and then the only reason I bring that up, I mean, because I don't want to split. I'm not like Vince McMahon. Let's split tag teams up, you know, once they're good. But you know, you just see Oliver Carter. He keeps saying Ashton Smith. Like, why are you being polite? You know, why you know, we got to, like you said,
and that's the crack right there.
Yeah, so it's like, is that the crack? Like, what's, you know, because it's like, I would just booking wise, I'm thinking, why would you just keep doing rematch after rematch after rematch? You're just beating this team.
Yeah, no,
we gotta
exactly.
wait and see.
We'll see what happens. So talking about tag teams, there we go. We got to see Pretty Deadly against Jack Stars and Dave Mastiff, and the match was okay. You know, Pretty Deadly is, like you said, is good. They live the gimmick. They have like good chemistry with each other. Out of both the tag teams, right there is like the ones that actually love and act like a tag team in everything they do, the way they dress, all of that. But like here, the one thing, it was like actually Jack Stars was able to get that best from like Dave Mastiff. And I guess the best gives superpowers or something.
I was gonna say, is this like Stone Cold Steve Austin's best, or like what? Like, I mean,
it seems that way.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Like, what is this?
That,
is this Bret Hart's sunglasses?
Well, Mastiff, you know, not doing much of the work, but like Jack Stars, as soon as he saw how like Howley got like the best, he went nuts. He tags in. He just becomes all powerful. Take the best again, and then he delivers a good power bomb. 1, 2, 3, and they beat Pretty Deadly. So that to me, it was a statement, but that saying that Pretty Deadly are going to have to wait for their time. But remember also, Paul, these guys have not had a rematch quite yet. So maybe there's going to be a few more months down the line for them to get that match. But in this particular case, you know, the ones winning are Jack Stars and Mastiff.
Yeah, which, I mean, I was fine with the match. I mean, everything up until the jacket thing, that got a little ridiculous, or the vest, whatever you want to call it. I mean, Jack Star's coming in, you know, like a house on fire. I was like, okay, you know, I like this guy. I was a fan of him. I kind of said like a Sami Zayn, even though he's definitely shorter than Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn's not the tallest guy in the world. But I was thinking, okay, no, but Pretty Deadly's going to stop him, hit the spilt milk, 1, 2, 3. And, you know, maybe he's pissed off and he thinks, man, Dave's going to be like, screw this kid, you know, he's bullshit. But Dave will be like, no, man, we're good. We'll get him next time. You think, okay, you see that, you know, cohesion. You see that, like, okay, you know, they're a team now. They're a group. But now he just went all, like you said, he hulked up and he went crazy. That, I mean, nice power bomb on a guy who's like twice as tall as he is. But, you know, I mean, they win the match. The only thing I don't like is just Pretty Deadly. Again, like, I don't like beating teams that they shouldn't be beaten like this. Like I said, these guys are the Heath Slater and Rhino. They should be the team that nobody thinks is gonna win the big one, and they just go all the way and win it. They shouldn't be beating these top teams. They should just like win like a fluke battle royal or a fluke, like, you know,
and then they get the championship
like
opportunity. That would I like. It's to me the fact that he hulked up that much. I'm like, over freaking best. You know, that I didn't like that at all. But I mean, they got the win. Hey, we gotta respect that. So let's go, Paul, to like Zaya Brookside, because she's still pissed and she called her dad. You know, again, Daddy, like the girl from NXT 2.0, nobody watches that show, so that's fine. And she says that if she,
well,
if
I
she
don't know.
can,
With Nikita Lyons, everybody might. Be
oh well,
watching now.
when Nikita Lyons, see, I haven't opened it up. I can get the picture of him for everybody because no one has the pin. No one pins, you know, like the way that Nikita does. So at least we're going to start watching NXT 2.0 just because of that. No, I'm just saying. But John Paul is right. So Zaya Brookside is asking to her dad to just help her out, so maybe they can win another match or anything. And the camera was just recording, so she got mad over that. This, if it doesn't turn out into wins for Zaya, it's just you know, something wasted. I don't understand where is it going, so I don't really care for it.
Yeah, and and I'm not saying you need to introduce another title, but you see how there's feuds and there's storylines with the you know what's with Serena Deeb and Hikaru Shida. I couldn't think of Shida's name. That's the one that was slipping my mind. Shida. It was just, you know, with that feud, it was so good and it was over nothing. As in, like, no title, no belt, you know, nothing like that. You know, it was good. But Zaya Brookside, she needs to be in a feud that's like that.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's like, you know, what, like you said, because she's not on that level to beat a Meiko Satomura or somebody like that for the championship.
You know, yeah, that's the thing. Is like, and especially the storyline, all that Helmy, all of that is weak if you don't win anything.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
It doesn't matter because you keep asking people for help, but at the end the result is the same. And do you really want to keep going through that route? I don't know. Something that, like you said, is very intriguing is there still. We thought it was Eva Valkyrie, but it's not. We thought that it was going to be the Feathers. It's not. This is something that is maybe a new person is going to be introduced in NXT UK. We don't really know who that is, but once we know for sure, we'll give you the details about this promo work. But it's like really creepy. Like you said, it's like seeing black and white, and the guy's actually being chased by this new person. So this is going to be cool and interesting. Maybe, like Paul said, maybe it's one of the guys from Symbiosis from the past. Maybe it's him, or maybe, I don't know who could that be, but at least it's intriguing, and we'll see what happens next week also. Probably we'll see his face next week.
Yeah, they're slowly starting to show more because, you know, last week, like I said, I thought it was Eva Valkyrie, but clearly now we know it's a man, and because we heard him cutting the promo. So maybe next week, like you said, we'll see a face or see something. It kind of talked about coming back, so maybe it was somebody who was already here.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm thinking maybe, you know, because we saw they replaced in Symbiosis, they took out a Boar, like they got rid of him. Maybe he's coming back. I'm not saying this deserves a whole big vignette, whole, you know, new whatever. And it doesn't really sound like him from what I remember. So, I mean, we got to wait and see. This is definitely intriguing, though, because I really have no clue who it is. I put all the chips in on, you know, Eva Valkyrie, and when it wasn't her, I was like, oh, shit, now I have no clue.
And maybe it could be Rampage Brown for all we know. You know, maybe going back.
No, that's not his voice. His voice was real.
Somebody else. It's somebody completely different. So next week we'll probably going to have a little bit more of a clear answer when it comes to that thing, but it's still intriguing and good. That in this nowadays, in this day and age, I should say that, like, a professional wrestling, everything you know, so like, and everything that, like, the dirt sheets say actually happens. So this is good to be at least intrigued, you know, in these situations. So let's go with, like, the main event: Ilja Dragunov against Nathan Frazier for the NXT UK Championship. Great match, you know, guys like Paul always says, when they're built the same, you know, around same height, around same weight. Really, really good interactions between the two, and Nathan Frazier, like many instances of the match, it seemed like he was going to become the champion. So Ilja did a great job because in the end, we all believe that Nathan Frazier is in that level. So at some point down the line, he might become the new NXT UK champion.
Yeah, you can really tell they're pushing this guy with the stuff they say, even on commentary. And I mean, trained by Seth Rollins. And when you watch it, you tell me this doesn't remind you kind of like a Tyler Black in Ring of Honor. You know, we mentioned that earlier. AEW now owns them. So, you know, hopefully we can see that footage, Tyler Black matches versus Austin Aries and a bunch of other good stuff. But, you know, this match was great. You know, they even said Frazier, you know, has Dragunov faced anybody as fast as him. You know, maybe the closest would be the A-Kid, but no, you know, they said Frazier's speed is on another level, putting him over. But no, every time he got the advantage, Dragunov slow him down. And, you know, just this match went, what, almost 20 minutes, I think.
20 minutes,
it was great, you know, and I love those spot, you know, tons of good sequences, bunch of German suplexes, 2 of them. Frazier gets out, he goes for a big moonsault, Dragunov backs up, and then, you know, hits the 3rd German suplex. And I mean, the super kicks that Frazier was laying in there were great. And, you know, it was just hard-hitting matches, and you could see it after this was over. These guys were all bloody, all beat up, you know, bruised and everything.
The chest was red, yes.
Yeah, big super Hurricane Rana. off the top. You know, Frazier delivered to Dragunov. I mean, tons of great stuff in here, and Dragunov is so good at kicking out right at the last second. You know, I mean, you knew he wasn't going to lose, but there's times where you thought, man, is he actually going to kick out? You know, like, because he's right at the last second, you know.
And then that's nice when they get you. Like you said, I agree with you. That's nice. In the end, you know, the Constantine special.
Yes.
And he retains the title, and we thought that was going to be the end. But you see a little bit of, like, the show of respect between the two. That's good. And see, they say each other right there. It's like, maybe not today, kid, but the next time it will be better. So you see that, like, there's faith here. And like you said, Nathan Frazier has been portrayed in a really nice manner. The match with Walter, I will say this match though was way better. He looked so much better. I see the two main guys. Walter, he already went to NXT 2.0. He's just buried over there, but now with the champion in a championship match, this is good for Nathan Frazier. Maybe he's gonna come to the United States. I'm not completely sure, but now at least he has a lot of more stocks in his name.
Oh yeah, I definitely think he's one of those guys on the rise. Maybe even he'll be the one to dethrone Noam Dar. You know, we don't know, you know, how they're really going to go with this. But hopefully he just keeps winning matches, you know, keeps getting momentum. Maybe because they said, like, you know, this is the one of the first steps in your journey. You know, it's not your time now, so you know we got to see what the next step is. Because I mean, this match was great, and like I said, this was a prime example of how a guy can wrestle a match, lose, but still get over.
Exactly, and then and you always say is that when the feud or when the match is really good, even the loser is actually being like elevated to the next level. And this situation happened right here for Nathan Frazier. So family, thank you so very much to every single one of you. This is the review for NXT UK. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. We hope you guys have a great weekend. And where else can they find us in the social media waves, Paul?
And follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...